You're in for Natasha. Today is the best day of spring break.
The best day of spring break, and we've been talking about food so much. I'm hungry. You're probably hungry at home too, so maybe have dinner out on the patio this evening. That's where we're expecting to see our temperatures, at least for an early dinner within the next hour or two, to be right around 55 degrees. But after sunset, that's when those temperatures will start to slide backwards at about 49. But it doesn't get much better than this, with a beautiful picture here across western Oregon. Lincoln City, bright blue, sunny skies, those waves glistening in the sunlight as Portland sees an increase in the cloud coverage and a few snowflakes where we like to find them out towards Mount Hood Meadows, where our current temperature right now out at PDX is 57. Soak it up, because all good things must come to an end, and that is also the case for our conditions as we move through the rest of this week. The only thing making it feel like spring are those later sunsets, as our temperatures will be seen about 10 degrees below what's normal this time of year. But slightly on the warmer side, out towards Mount Hood Meadows, 33 degrees after we've seen a healthy amount of snowfall over the past 24 hours. Nearly 10 inches for Meadows. That puts our base level at 144 inches, 165 though for Timberline after seeing about 3 inches of snow over the past 24 hours. And we're still picking up on a stray snow flurry or two up in elevation, but closer to home, drying out our skies with the exception of just a few little isolated rain showers in northern Washington County and just to the north of the Columbia River Gorge, but not expected to be widespread or a super soaker event as we move through the overnight hours. Overall, you can see that's really only the high terrain that's picking up on any of the moisture at this hour. That will all be changing as we progress our way towards the week's end. That's where the next 6 to 10 days, much of the western half of the country is expecting to see above average precip amounts. That also comes with a big cooling trend for us. Like I mentioned, nearly 10 degrees below what's normal for this time of year as we approach the weekend. So the culprit for this wild weather, at least yesterday's rainfall and the fog that we saw earlier this morning, this low pressure system that continues to track its way off to the south and east. We get into a bit of a lull or a pause in our weather patterns before these next two low pressure systems start to develop over the Pacific Ocean. One kind of fizzles out as the other takes hold, and that's going to usher in some stronger winds for Friday, but then also increase our rain potential, not only for Friday, but into Saturday. You can see that here over the next 6 days or so, expecting the wet weather. So tomorrow, mostly dry with the exception of the late afternoon and evening hours to maybe pick up on a raindrop or two as the clouds start to increase tonight, but that's going to act like a blanket for us, keeping our overnight lows only into the low 40s and then maybe a hit and miss shower as we work our way through tomorrow afternoon. But again, it's not going to be widespread, and then the snow starts to fall over the high terrain once again on Fridays. Those winds kick up out of the southwest. We could see some gusts nearing about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So that's going to put an additional nearly 3/4 of an inch of rain in our rain gauges, almost a full inch to an inch and a quarter out along the shorelines. We fall to 41 degrees tonight. Tomorrow, daytime highs just a few degrees cooler into the mid-50s, and then we really start to fall back. Look at Sunday. 48 degrees is our expected daytime high. That's not an April Fool's Day joke, although I wish it were. So it's going to kind of put a pause on all of those cherry blossoms, the tulips that have been already delayed by several weeks. But the good news is with those colder temperatures, what has already started to bloom will likely hold on to those blooms because when it gets really warm out there, it kind of speeds up the growing process.
Yeah, so we're hoping it doesn't go from like super hot. You were telling me this, and I'm hopeful that when they do blossom, that maybe we'll have slightly warmer weather. It'll be just right for us to enjoy.
Yeah, so be picture perfect. We just have to wait.
All right, we're being patient. Josh, thanks.
Coming up, what